So you think if cops trick you into committing a crime, you could just claim entrapment and walk free? Yeah, that's adorable. Let me explain why that defense is basically worthless. Look, everyone thinks they understand entrapment from watching movies. Cop goes undercover, convinces an innocent person to commit a crime, defendant yells entrapment in court and walks free. But reality here, this defense works about as often as winning the lottery while getting struck by lightning. Here's the thing that'll blow your mind. The entrapment defense has two parts that are almost impossible to prove. First, you have to show the cops came up with the criminal idea, not you. And second, this is where it gets ridiculous. You have to prove you weren't predisposed to commit this type of crime. So what does predisposed mean? Basically, if you've ever done anything remotely similar, ever talked about doing something illegal, or even just agreed too quickly when the cops suggested it, boom, you're predisposed. Game over. I started digging into actual entrapment cases, and the stuff police are getting away with is mind-blowing. The FBI literally spent months creating fake terrorism plots, providing weapons, training, and detailed plans to mentally unstable people, then arresting them for terrorism. Courts said not entrapment because these people were supposedly predisposed to violence. I found cases where undercover agents spent over a year convincing reluctant people to meet minors, offering money and emotional manipulation. And when defendants finally agreed after months of pressure, courts ruled they were predisposed because they eventually said yes. So here's the brutal truth. The entrapment defense exists in theory, but almost never works in practice. The predisposition standard is so broad that courts can find almost anyone predisposed to almost anything. Meanwhile, police are running increasingly elaborate operations that border on creating crimes rather than solving them.